Hello everyone, and welcome to our third episode here of our Magic Duels playthrough. We're doing the story mode. We're in Gideon's story, and as we know, before being a Gideon Jura, he was known as Gideon, kid from the slums of Akros and the plane of Teros. And with a great sense of justice, he's trying to help out with his magic. And let's see, we're so far in his story. So we know that he was fighting some prison guards with his friends. He laid down his weapons to protect his friends. Ended up being arrested. During his prison time, was being helped by this prison guard. And now it looks like Akros has fallen under attack as harpies mercilessly swarm the city walls. Every able body is needed. You and other prisoners are released, the city's last hope to beat back the monsters. So it looks like we're gonna have Kitian here being released from prison to fight some harpies for 30 coins. So let's see. We have here a nice image of Kitian, and looks like some city guards fighting back the harpies invasion. So first of all, looks like we have another one of those training drone
you can have
scenarios.
multiple creatures grouped together to block a single attacking creature. This is a good way to gang up on a larger threat. Your opponent chooses. Usually, an attacking creature will deal all its damage to the creature that blocked it. But a creature with trample can deal its excess. You'll see trample and group blocking in action in this skill quest. To block an incoming attack, click and drag one of your creatures to the attacking creature you want to block.
Yeah,
Once
so we're
you've
at
selected
one.
all the creatures you want to block with, click Confirm Block.
Sure, so since we're at one, of course we have to double block here, as the trample would kill us, so let's confirm that block. And then since we have trample with our own fox, we can attack back and do the remaining 2 damage. Sorry guys, I have to do this. I don't want to just straight away skip it. Also, I didn't know it would be because of we're here, because I didn't play the game before. So we can quickly go through this very quick tutorials. It takes around 10 seconds. I don't know if it's possible that it will actually teach us something. But we get some coins for boosters later on. Maybe I can teach you and give you some tips on deck building and some.
Normally, all attacking and blocking creatures deal combat damage at the same time. However, a creature in this skill quest withstand your opponent's assault and.
So looks like we're learning about first strike here. Sure. So let's walk here and give our guy first strike.
A timer counts down whenever it's your turn to act. If you want to cast an instant, click.
Sure, let's stop the timer here. We'll play the Fury in our guy. Sorry guys, this might be a bit boring for you. If it's part of the story, I don't want you to miss it. Let's just try to be quick with it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and attack and see if we can close this one off and maybe stop with the drones. And
Victory is at hand. Attack your defenseless opponent. Normally, all attacking and blocking creatures deal in this skill quest. Withstand your opponent.
Again? I don't know what's up. We did it already. Didn't even allow me to block. Jesus, what's wrong with this?
Normally, all attacking and in this skill quest withstand.
Continue. sorry about that, guys. So let's go ahead and block and give our guy first strike. I have no idea what happened
A timer counts down whenever it's your turn to act.
before, and why didn't the skill quest end after we killed the guy? I'll try to go a bit slower now and see if there was something I missed. Slow and steady wins the race. So, can we attack, please? Confirm attack. Damage. Okay.
Well done. First strike is advantageous on both offense and defense.
Yes, it is. Okay. Another 15 coins for our little booster bank. So, okay, so we're in. We're fighting the RPs. Nice little hand here. We have 2 mana. We can already play 2 creatures. So let's go ahead and get started with our elite card here. Very nice 1-drop creature for 2 power. And let's see what our harpies here are playing. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the mana always first, so we have more mana open to bluff tricks or to actually play tricks, and then we attack and then deploy our 2-drop. So mana normally always better on main phase 1 creatures, normally always better on main phase 2. So here we go, deploying our 3-1 little friend here. And next turn we can be deploying fire. Our opponent RB has like a very nice shiny land. He has a blocker which is not very good doing that job because every time a creature dies he gets tapped. So then if we have some tricks or something, some removal for another creature, this one also gets tapped. We can attack true for now. We'll offer the trade and try to get these harpies dead as fast as possible. So let's go into our combat phase and attack with everyone. Of course, our opponent prefers to trade with our 2-drop rather than our 1-drop. We'll still do other 2 damage, and now we'll play our fire. Here we go. A second to check what's this. Okay, we have a double striker in fire. It's very good. It might look bad because it's only a 2/2 for 5, but don't forget that with double strike it deals 4 damage. So that unfortunately puts a bit of an end to it because we have a 3/3 reach. But with a combat trick like we just drew now, this card will be a beast. So for now we cannot attack. Unfortunately the spider will eat any of our guys. So we will play our elk here. Another thing that we can do would be attack, and then the charge would allow us to trade, but that's a 2-for-1 on ourselves, and let me explain a bit what that means. So this expression 2-for-1, it means that you're trading 2 of your cards for only 1 of your opponent's cards. So you're losing value, you're losing on resources. So that's something you never want to do on Magic. So we would trade our card Glorious Charge and one of our creatures, probably our 3-drop here, and our opponent would lose only 1 card. It's true that we would then deal 3 damage and his creature would be dead, but it's a very bad trade for us, and most times you want to stay away from it. It's really just last resort. You always want to be up in value, you want to do good trades. So what we'll do now is we will keep expanding our board. We'll play our 4-drop, hopefully next turn we'll play our 5-drop if we draw a land, and then we attack with everything, and then we use Glorious Charge and we deal a bajillion damage. So even though a white Winnie deck doesn't want to stay put for too long, I think it's okay not to attack for now if it means winning the game later. So we will skip the attack and pass the turn to our opponent. Okay, that's not so bad because it also dies to our attackers. We have our 5th land, so we can play our flyer here, our double striker, which will be awesome with the glorious charge because it will deal 6 damage in total, 3 of them in first strike, so it can kill any of the guys if my opponent decides to block. So that's good news. Let's see what our opponent does. Flashmat Steel. So another of those 2 drops we saw early. It's a 2/2 with a minor downside. And finally, the Harpy opponent plays a Harpy. So a 2/1 flying, and when it enters the battlefield, each player loses 1 life, which is actually kind of good for us because we have been being the aggressor here. So we go to 19, but we don't really care about our life total at this point. But our opponent goes to 15, and that might increase our clock here. So it's our turn. We have a 2-drop. We're not gonna play it for now. We're just gonna go ahead and start by attacking with everyone. When the flyer blocks the flyer here, unfortunately here the +1/+1 is not gonna allow us to eat our opponent's creature. But it should allow for our flyer to eat the spider here on the first strike because of the double strike, of course. Our elk should be fine as well, and our 1-drop should trade with something. Let's see. So continue. We will attack with all of our creatures. We'll confirm attack, and let's see how our opponent decides to block. He's tapped out, so we know we'll be the only ones playing a combat trick here. We'll stop the timer and check the blockers. So it looks like RP is blocking the bird, like I anticipated. Spider blocking the double striker, also like I said. And here we have what will be a trade even after our glorious charge here. And these 2 going to our opponent, which in this case will be 3. So we'll go ahead, play the glorious charge, pump everyone, and eat some spiders. Of course that taps the 2/2, but he already blocked, so that doesn't matter. Looks like we're up a creature now, and now on the main phase 2 we play another one, and we're up 2 creatures. So our opponent also doesn't have a way to block our flyer so far, which will be dealing 4 damage every turn. Unfortunately, looks like they're a bit up in value here because we'll be returning cards from graveyard, and we're out of gas. And we'll be returning the Harpy instead of the Spider, which sounds a bit weird to me, but they're the Harpy deck, so I guess they're forced to return the Harpies for flavor. I don't know. In the meantime, let's go ahead and attack with our flyer here. Of course, we don't want our little guys here to be eaten by this 3/4 creature. This one wouldn't be eaten, but it would do nothing except for tapping itself. So there's no point in attacking with it. So let's go ahead and keep it untapped. And do 4 damage on the air. Of course, it could trade with his 4/2, but my opponent probably doesn't want that. So we can go ahead and play another 4/2. Yeah, combat animation shows 2 times. It's of course double strike, works as first strike and then a normal combat damage. So remember, the first half of double strike works as first strike. You probably should know that by now, but just in case you don't, just a gentle reminder while we wait for our Harpy's opponent here to play his armies. Now, let's take some life from both of us. That's good news. Unfortunately, we keep drawing mana. Some players like to keep their lands to bluff tricks and whatnot. Depends on your deck. Most cases, it's not worth it to overcomplicate. Then you draw cards that you want to play them and you can't because you didn't play your lands. So, for example, in this deck, it would probably be a good decision because I doubt that this deck has a 6-drop. But since we're not sure, we're gonna go ahead and play the land because it's not like our opponent really goes for bluffs. We're playing against a computer here. So, of course, the Harpy dies on first strike. The second strike doesn't go to the opponent because we don't have trample. We will play our land like spoken before and pass the turn. Our opponent has land as well, at least that. I'll keep attacking with the Harpy here. Now my opponent cannot block, so it will deal 4 damage. Now my opponent has black mana, so he could have something like Languish, and if he does, all our creatures die and we're left with nothing, so I'm not sure if I want to overcommit to the board and put even more creatures, which will be doing nothing. On the other hand, if he has a removal spell, which is more likely than a Languish, when I attack with everyone, if I don't play this creature, he can just kill my flyer and can block everything else rather. But if I play this creature and he uses the removal spell for my flyer, then I have 4 attackers, he has 3 blockers, only 1 passes, that's only 2 damage, my opponent is still at 3, so it doesn't change the clock. If it doesn't change the clock, it's not worth it, I will keep it in my hand. It will not make the difference between victory and defeat. And it might help us if our opponent has a sweeper. He's attacking us, we don't care about blocking, we don't care about all the life totals at all. It's a good thing that we will have a tapped creature. So let's just go ahead and hope it doesn't have removal for our flyer. We even drew another flyer here, so looks like we're in good shape to amass the victory over the Harpies here. We'll not be attacking with everyone because again, if he has a removal for our flyer here, actually, I'll take that back. I will attack with everyone, and I'll tell you what. I was thinking that my opponent would be able to eat my creatures, and in that case, since there would be no difference, he could be blocking 2 of my guys, eating 2 of my guys, we would deal 2 damage, but the removal to the flyer would still not mean victory, so we would still not be winning, and we would be losing 2 of our creatures being eaten. But we can actually trade because these are 4 dues, and if we can trade, that's good. And of course, this gives us a more safe path to victory. Because even if the opponent has a removal for the bird here, we're attacking with 3 other guys. We're totally fine trading with the 4 dues if the opponent decides to do so. So let's keep being the aggressor here. And first strike damage, opponent's at 1, and now normal damage. Looks like we managed to beat the nasty Harpies. Creatures trade. And Kitian helps Terrace defending against the Harpies. We win a bunch of coins. And we continue to see what happens. Kitian's deck is upgraded. And with your martial talents and magical skills, you manage to fend the onslaught of voracious Harpies. However, you hear the calls for help from the main gate. Before the Harpies can regroup, you make your way along the walls towards the cries. So, if you want to see what happens next here on Gideon's story, stay tuned, click the subscribe button, And on next episode, we will be fighting some really ugly creature, at least according to the little image here. Until then, stay tuned. Bye.